Stop. Pause. Take a deep breath. Hold this coin carefully between your fingers. This is not just a piece of metal. This is a 2000 New Hampshire state quarter, struck with the D mint mark, quietly entering circulation while most of its kind remained unnoticed. Its surface is worn, its edges softened, its copper-nickel layers dulled by decades of handling. Dirt clings in every crevice. To the untrained eye, it is only a quarter. But to the collector, this coin is history, endurance, and hidden fortune pressed into metal. The year 2000 marked a time when America looked forward with cautious optimism, a new millennium dawning. The state quarters program had begun, and each coin carried not just currency, but stories of identity, pride, and culture. This New Hampshire quarter featured George Washington on the obverse, his profile firm yet softened by time, and the Old Man of the Mountain on the reverse, a symbol of New Hampshire's resilience, strength, and natural beauty. But this coin has endured far more than simple symbolism. Its journey through wallets, pockets, vending machines, and cash registers has left marks that tell a story invisible to most. Observe the obverse closely. Washington's face, once sharply struck, now bears the soft contours of wear. Every scratch, every faded line, every subtle abrasion is a record of decades of American life. Most quarters minted that year have been lost, discarded, or melted down. This one survived. And in its survival lies its extraordinary value. The worn state does not diminish it, it amplifies the story that this coin carries quietly through time. Flip it over. The Old Man of the Mountain rises faintly from the metal. Once crisp, now softened, but unmistakable in form. Every curve, every ridge, every shadow is a testament to endurance. This image, iconic to New Hampshire, has passed through countless hands, from schoolchildren receiving allowance, to commuters paying for morning coffee, to collectors who glimpsed its subtle charm before others noticed. Each mark, each softened detail, speaks not of imperfection, but of life, of circulation, of resilient survival. The D-Mint mark quietly signals its origin from Denver, yet for casual collectors, it may go unnoticed. For seasoned eyes, it hints at subtle variations, mint production details, and scarcity in certain conditions. Many quarters of this era were mass-produced, but very few survive in worn, heavily circulated condition with intact imagery. This coin, though not pristine, carries the story of a survivor, a narrative that ordinary quarters cannot tell. Most people will pass it by, seeing only wear, dirt, and a flattened surface. But value is rarely obvious. It is hidden in endurance, survival, and subtle anomalies. This New Hampshire quarter may conceal tiny variations or characteristics that elevate it to collector treasure status. It is not just a coin, it is a piece of history waiting to be recognized, a key to potential fortune for those who understand its journey. Imagine all the lives it touched. Every pocket, drawer, hand, and cash register has left a mark, a faint whisper pressed into the metal. These are proofs of authenticity, proof that it survived where millions vanished. Its heavily circulated condition is not a drawback, it is the badge of a survivor, a story told by wear rather than shine. Fortune does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers through worn edges, through faded details, through subtle stories etched over decades. This quarter may appear ordinary, but its story is extraordinary. Every line softened by circulation, every shadow of dirt, every worn ridge is a narrative of survival, and a quiet promise of hidden value. Collectors know that true rarity is not always about mint-perfect surfaces. It is about endurance, historical significance, and subtle distinctions. A 2000 New Hampshire quarter, passed through decades of hands, can carry anomalies or features that dramatically increase its value. Those who see it as just change will overlook the potential. Those who recognize its story can unlock a fortune that seems unimaginable for a simple quarter. So if you ever encounter a 2000 New Hampshire state quarter D-Mint mark, do not rush. Hold it. Examine it. Appreciate its history. Feel the worn profile of Washington, the softened edges of the Old Man of the Mountain, the traces of decades of life. This coin does not shout. It waits, silently, for the collector who can read its story, understand its endurance, and recognize the potential fortune quietly pressed into the passage of American history. This is more than currency, it is resilience, history, and a hidden promise of value. Stop. Pause. Take a breath. Hold this coin in your hand. It may look ordinary at first, worn, slightly dirty, edges softened by decades of handling. But this is no ordinary coin. This is a 2003 Illinois state quarter, struck with the D mint mark, quietly moving through the hands of Americans for years. Its copper-nickel surface bears the marks of countless transactions. Every scratch, every faded line, every worn edge tells a story, the story of a coin that survived the relentless march of time. Most people see only a quarter. Collectors see history, endurance, and hidden fortune. The year 2003 was a time when the United States was looking forward, building the future while honoring its past. This Illinois quarter captures that balance perfectly. The obverse features George Washington, his profile familiar yet softened by wear. The reverse celebrates a young Abraham Lincoln, his thoughtful gaze immortalized in metal, a reminder of leadership, courage, and the struggles of a nation. But this coin's true value is not just in its design, it is in its journey, in the countless pockets, wallets, and cash registers it passed through, surviving decades of daily life. Look closely at Washington's profile. The once sharp lines of his face have been softened by circulation, and yet every detail remains recognizable. The obverse tells a quiet story of endurance. Coins like this one are rare survivors. Most minted in 2003 have been spent, lost, or melted. But this quarter endured. Its value is hidden not in brilliance, but in survival. Every mark, every softened edge, every tiny imperfection is proof of its history, proof of its resilient journey through American life. Turn the coin over. Lincoln emerges from the metal, his young face captured in subtle relief. The reverse design, a tribute to the land of Lincoln, has endured the touch of countless hands. Each scratch, each worn line, each faint contour is a testament to its circulation, a coin that has lived, has witnessed, and has survived. This is the magic that collectors seek, the story hidden in metal, not the shiny perfection that many prize. The D mint mark is a quiet signal of its origin from Denver, but it does more than that. For collectors, it hints at subtle die variations, minting characteristics, and scarcity in certain conditions. While millions of quarters were struck that year, very few survive in heavily circulated yet recognizable condition, with the Lincoln design still clear and readable. This coin is one of them, a survivor hiding in plain sight. To the casual eye, it is worn change. To the experienced collector, it is a treasure disguised as ordinary currency. Hidden in its wear are subtle anomalies, features, and signs that elevate its value far beyond face. Every touch, every scratch, every mark carries decades of history. This is not just a coin, it is a key to understanding American numismatic heritage and, potentially, to fortune. Imagine the hands it passed through. Children receiving allowance, shoppers at grocery stores, travelers at vending machines, each interaction left an imprint, subtle but permanent. These are not flaws. They are evidence of authenticity. They are proof that this quarter survived where millions vanished. Its worn, dirty, heavily circulated condition adds to its story, making it more compelling for collectors who understand that rarity comes from survival, not perfection. Fortune whispers in places most overlook. In the worn edges of a coin, in the softened relief of Lincoln's face, and the faint traces of Washington's profile, the potential of hidden value exists. A 2003 Illinois state quarter may seem like everyday money, but for those who can read its story, its history transforms it into a treasure that could astonish the untrained eye. Collectors recognize that value is not always about uncirculated perfection. True rarity lies in historical significance, endurance, and subtle distinctions. A quarter like this, quietly surviving decades of American life, may hold tiny variations, strike anomalies, or other details that make it incredibly valuable. Those who see it as just change will miss the potential fortune pressed into its metal. Those who understand its story may uncover wealth that seems impossible for a single quarter. So if you ever find a 2003 Illinois State Quarter D mint mark, do not rush. Hold it. Study it. Examine the worn profile of Washington, the faded but detailed Lincoln, and the marks of time etched across the coin. This is more than currency. It is resilience, history, and the quiet promise of hidden value. This coin waits silently for the collector who understands its journey, who can recognize that a small, worn quarter may hold a fortune beyond imagination. Stop. Pause. Take a deep breath. Hold this coin in your hand. At first glance, it may seem ordinary, dirt clinging to worn edges, the copper-nickel surface dulled, the relief softened by decades of handling. But this is far from ordinary. This is a 2012 Hawaii Volcano's quarter, struck with the P mint mark, quietly making its way through the hands of countless Americans. Its journey is written in every mark, every scratch, every trace of circulation. Most people see only a quarter. Collectors see history, resilience, and hidden fortune. The year 2012 was a time of reflection and progress, a new decade shaping America's story while honoring its diverse heritage. This Hawaii quarter captures that spirit. The obverse bears the familiar profile of George Washington, timeless and stoic. The reverse depicts the powerful eruption of the Kilauea Volcano, a symbol of nature's raw strength and Hawaii's enduring beauty. Every detail, though softened by circulation, tells a story of survival and awe. But the true story of this coin is not only in its design, it is in its life, traveling through wallets, cash registers, and pockets, enduring decades of daily transactions. Observe Washington's face on the obverse. The sharpness of minting has softened with time, edges faded, but the figure remains commanding. Each line of his face, each contour, speaks to endurance. Many quarters minted in 2012 have disappeared, melted, or lost to casual spending. Yet this one survived. Its history is etched into the metal. Its value lies not in shine, but in the silent record of survival and circulation, a story few coins can tell. Turn the coin over. The eruption of Kilauea emerges in muted detail, columns of lava frozen in time, a reminder of the raw power that shaped Hawaii's islands. Every scratch, every softened ridge is a testament to its journey. This coin has passed through the hands of travelers, shoppers, collectors, and everyday Americans. Each mark is proof it has lived, endured, and survived decades in circulation, turning ordinary metal into extraordinary history. The P mint mark quietly signals its origin from Philadelphia. To casual observers, it may go unnoticed. But to collectors, it provides clues about mint production, subtle variations, and potential rarity. Millions of Hawaii Volcano's quarters were minted, yet very few survive in heavily circulated condition while maintaining legible designs. This coin is one of those survivors, a quiet rarity, hiding immense historical and potential monetary value in plain sight. Many will dismiss this quarter as nothing more than change. But collectors know that true value is rarely obvious. Hidden in the worn relief, in softened details, and the faint traces of dirt, lies potential treasure. Subtle anomalies, minting variations, and the coin's survival over decades can dramatically increase its value. This is not just currency, it is a portal into American history and potential fortune, waiting for the observant eye. Consider all the hands it passed through: wallets, cash registers, pockets, piggy banks, vending machines. Each contact left an invisible record, a mark of life that cannot be replicated. These marks are not flaws. They are proof of authenticity, proof that this coin survived when millions were lost. Its heavily circulated state does not diminish its worth, it enhances its story, a silent badge of endurance. Fortune does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers through the worn edges of a quarter, through the faint lines of Kilauea's eruption, through the softened profile of Washington. A 2012 Hawaii Volcano's quarter may seem ordinary, but its story is extraordinary. Every mark, every trace of circulation, transforms this coin from mere currency into a quiet treasure, rich with history and potential. Collectors understand that rarity is not only about pristine condition. It is about survival, historical significance, and subtle distinctions. This quarter, quietly enduring over a decade in circulation, may contain tiny anomalies or minting details that make it incredibly valuable. Those who see it as just change will overlook potential. Those who recognize its story can unlock wealth that seems unimaginable for a simple coin. So if you ever find a 2012 Hawaii Volcano's quarter P mint mark, do not rush. Hold it, study it, and feel its weight. Examine Washington's worn profile, the softened eruption of Kilauea, the marks left by decades of circulation. This coin does not demand attention. It waits, silently, for the collector who can read its story, understand its endurance, and recognize the hidden value quietly pressed into American history. This is more than a quarter, it is resilience, history, and a hidden promise of fortune.